Fallout 4's writing was never praised by its fans. But one of the most insulting things is actually how close this game gets to being a good game.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
In fact, if you just changed a few things around, Fallout 4 might have even been able to become a fan favorite. So I made a list of the 9 things they could have done to make Fallout 4 the best version it could have been. One thing though, I decided it would be unfair to completely change the entire game. For the most part, these are only going to be minor changes to the game's story. I didn't want to make a completely different game, just fix the one that we have.
And the upgrade.
So without further ado, here's 9 ways to fix Fallout 4's story. Number 1, the intro has got to have some major tweaks. The thing that really ruins Fallout 4 for me is Nate, and also Nora, and also Shaun. See, Bethesda decided to try something we all know works every time. The classic, you can have your cake, and you can eat it too. In Bethesda's mind, you can't make the wrong decision if you don't make any decision at all. For me, you can either have a blank slate character as a stand-in for yourself, or you can have a character that begins their story started without you. And there are good examples of both of these things. Joel is an excellent character, but the Dragonborn is my character. Geralt has years of history at the start of the game, but the courier is literally me. There are even games that manage to blend both effectively, like Far Cry 3's Jason Brody, who starts as a rich trust fund baby who is forced to undergo changes to save his friends until you get to decide if he has been redeemed or not. Good shit. But what do you get if you have the murdered loved one's intro of Joel only to follow it up with the decisions and open world of Fallout, where you can pick up trash for a month, romance a companion, build a slave empire, and then remember you had a son?
I don't even know who you are.
Well, you get the
ludonarative dissonance
of Fallout 4. Choosing to have an emotionally compelling intro to provide the character motivation is a bold choice. Choosing to have the intro provide an emotionally compelling character motivation after literally one tummy tickle and a conversation about going to the park is, well, baffling. And choosing to have that game intro on a game where the gameplay loop revolves around picking up garbage and turning it into party decorations is, well, stupid. If I were going to change this while keeping everything intact, meaning we still start before the war, we still have a spouse, and our son still ends up being the director, here's what I would do. I would simply have your spouse get kidnapped by Kellog along with Shaun.
Now there are 2 of them.
This shifts the tone from a revenge plot and a rescue mission to a mystery. I would have your spouse leave notes and clues all over the Commonwealth, leading you to them, making it so exploration of the world actually works to inform you more about the mysterious institute you are trying to find, all the while hinting at how long it had been without conclusively telling you, only for you to get to the institute and find your spouse in the holding cell rather than the Synth Shaun. They're old and decrepit, and just as they die, trying to inform you of all the things that happened over the years, Shaun walks in and tells you that he's trying to fix the institute and that he really is a good guy.
I'm one of the good guys in the sense that my heart is in the right place.
Change number 2, less settlements and more cities. Now, I'm going to say something unpopular, okay? I actually like the settlement building, at least a little bit. If you added like 3 settlements that you got to build to Fallout 3, I would support it. I think it's neat.
I just think they're neat.
But the problem is, on the many playthroughs where I've started the game and I thought, this time I'm going to build every settlement, I get about 10 deep and think, holy shit, there's 20 more of these? I really think the issue here is that no one playtested this, at least not all the way through, because no one, and I mean no one, thinks settlement building is fun after you build 10 or more. I think this is reflected by the settlement locations too. There are about 10 locations that you go to and think, wow, this is going to be cool. And then there's 20 of them that you go to and you think, do I have to do this? So I would delete 20 of the settlement locations, add 3 of them back as permanent towns not built by you to take their place, and this way you could have more places like Covenant, but only do this if you're going to make the quests that come with them cooler than the quest you gave Covenant. Change number 3, put power armor later in the game and make you upgrade to get it. I remember when I watched the announcement trailer of Fallout 4, and this part played, and I remember being so pumped, I pissed my bed. It was a weird day for 17-year-old me. However, there's sort of a secret about trailers. Sometimes they say too much. I'm sure you've all experienced this. where you watch a trailer and you realize there's no reason to go watch the movie anymore because you now know the plot from the trailer. Well, for me, I sort of felt this same way when I played Fallout 4 for the first time, and the power armor was given to me 5 minutes outside of Sanctuary. A trailer is meant to titillate you. It compels you to find all the things a game has to offer. This is the equivalent to having a trailer for The Empire Strikes Back, except the reveal where Darth Vader is Luke's dad is in the trailer. Not only is power armor given to you in the very beginning, but just to add insult to injury, the place that they show you using it in the trailer is the place that you get it in the game. I would make power armor something you have to upgrade the use of. So when you start the game, even if you start as an 8, if you somehow did manage to find a power armor frame, you can only walk in it, even if you have the batteries, which should be more rare. Once you level up the skill, you can use it more normally. Then a little bit further, then you can sprint in it, then you can use melee weapons effectively, and on and on. Handing it all to you, from the training to the suit itself to the batteries, is too much. It's one thing to give a player a suit that makes them almost invincible at the beginning. It's another to give it to you, let you sprint in it, hand you a minigun, and then make the supposedly limited batteries just sitting under every rock, bush, and homeless person in the game. You gotta make it a little more challenging than this. Change number 4. Either go all in on the ending slides, or get rid of them. One of the most disappointing aspects of Fallout 4 is coming to the end of the game and seeing the end slides, which barely change at all if you make major choices in the end game. It's like if you tried to predict how my life would end up based on whether I remained a virgin into my 20s, repeated the second grade 3 times, or spent every dollar I made on gambling. Because joke's on you, I did all 3 of those things and I still ended up a homeless YouTuber. Here again, Bethesda demonstrates their desire to have it both ways. If you want to add ending slides, you need to tell the player how their actions mattered. How did they change the world? That's the point of ending slides.
And so the courier who had cheated death in the cemetery outside Good Springs cheated death once again because he wasn't killed off or retconned in the show.
So if you don't want to tell the player the consequences their actions had on the world and instead keep it a mystery for the sake of a sequel and or a TV show, which can be an equally effective choice for some games, by the way, then don't have ending slides. And that's how I would rewrite the game. For me personally, I would simply write an actual end slides that tell the player what happens if you choose the Institute or Brotherhood of Steel or whatever you end up doing, and I'd shoot for about a 5-year window, just like in Fallout New Vegas. But alternatively, you could remove them altogether, and either of these would be an improvement. Change number 5. Get rid of some of the end factions. So I really want to try and set the record straight here, because Fallout 4 has suffered from some revisionist history. Okay? The Railroad is not unmotivated. The Institute is not poorly written. At least, not at first. When you start the game and you step foot into the Commonwealth, the Railroad exists as a secret shadow organization opposed to the Institute that is trying to free synths and use them to get any intel they can on the shadowy organization. No one knows how the synths travel or where they come from. The Railroad is never going to face them in open battle when the game begins, because that would be the end of their organization. And that's how the game should continue. The Railroad should not be an endgame faction. They should be a powerful side faction like the Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout New Vegas. They can help you. They have a companion. They can help you infiltrate the Institute. They can give you advice. But that's it. Seriously, just look at this room and tell me that you see a faction that can capture a vertibird, destroy an airship, crack open teleportation, then storm an underground city with like 10 people. Oh, and for the record, I have the same problem with Minutemen. Everything I said can still apply to them as well. They should be in the game. They should help you. They should show you the Commonwealth's potential. They should fight a war with raiders. But the idea that the game can be ended by Sturgis somehow finding an old pipe for you to wander into the Institute is just stupid. Remember, the Institute can canonically teleport 100 synths directly into your asshole from anywhere in the Commonwealth. You just can't beat these guys without real power, like, I don't know, a giant robot. So make the game the Institute versus the Brotherhood with a bunch of side factions. Then take the 2 main factions and make them both a commentary on ultimate good versus ultimate evil. If you want to have a 4-way ending like New Vegas, you have to write characters like Mr. House. And if you aren't capable of writing that, maybe just keep it simple. Change number 6. I would flesh out the Minutemen-Raider dichotomy and make you general a little bit later in the game. I plan on doing a whole video about this one. But a lot of people are unaware that there's an entire subplot going on behind the scenes in Fallout 4. Don't believe me? Well, you sound like my dad.
Do not compare me to my father.
It takes the form of terminal entries belonging to each of the raider bosses all around the commonwealth. Each one is competing with all the others to become the biggest player in the area. At least some of them are from the betrayal of the Minutemen from Quincy, making them the sort of natural enemy of Preston and the Minutemen. And as you kill more of the raider bosses, the remaining terminals get more and more scared that they're going to be next as a result. It reminds me of high school when purple nurples were huge, and everyone was just waiting for their turn, covering their nipples, hoping their time wouldn't come. It was a different time. Anyway, let me put this another way. If you were to ignore the main quest, Fallout 4 becomes a game about you rebuilding the certified good guy faction and tracking down and killing all the people who betrayed it in the first place. Sounds at least a little badass, doesn't it? So, why haven't you heard about this until right now? Well, because it's regulated in the background. This entire plotline gets less screen time and fanfare than the kid in a fridge quest. If I were remaking Fallout 4, but keeping most of the game completely the same, I would bring this subplot front and center, so more people could experience becoming the terror of the raiders in the Commonwealth. Oh, and slight change, I would at least make it so you become general when you retake the castle, not right at the beginning. That just makes sense. Change number 7. You gotta fix the Shaun situation. For this one, I would keep the game structure and how it is presented mostly the same, except that everyone will only remember the times the Institute has messed with them, but the Institute will not have an active presence in the game. So you'll still have the Broken Mask incident, the CPG massacre, the University Point killing, except all of these events will be 5 years old or more. But you won't run into any synths walking around currently. No Roger Warwick, and the Mayor McDonough story is a fluke. So the Institute is now more of a mystery than anything else. When you go after the Institute, instead of finding a Virgil who is disillusioned with the Institute because they forced him to keep researching FEV, you find a Virgil who is disillusioned with the Institute because he feels that they've gone soft and have lost their way. He mentions Father being the problem, but won't elaborate on who that is or why that's a problem. When you do get to the Institute, you find out that the previous director was cruel and heartless and used the Commonwealth as his personal guinea pig, but that Shaun has really turned things around since he was elected 5 years earlier. That's why the Institute presence is more a memory than anything else in the Commonwealth. But you'll also find out that that decision he made after being elected means he is fighting a majority of members of the Institute who want to change it back to the old ways. Now, in this version, if you choose to go with the Institute, Shaun saying that he's dying and hastily naming you his successor makes sense. In this version, he's trying to keep the Institute out of evil hands by throwing you into the line of fire. This will progress with you choosing the future of the Institute, for real this time, with the ending of the faction quest focused on how to solve the civil war that's breaking out. You can be evil and use the Institute to kill all the other factions in the game, resulting in a unified but blood-soaked Institute that rules over the Commonwealth as a dictatorship, with you at the head, or you can castrate the Institute's leadership and take them out in a bloody Civil War-style conflict, bolstered by your lieutenants from the Railroad and Minutemen, and anyone who's willing to be loyal to you inside the Institute, leaving only those willing to bend the knee to your leadership when the fighting is over. Change number 8. No sneaky endless quests. One of the main criticisms I have for this game is that every quest is treated the same. Veteran players can recognize that you can safely ignore about 80% of what this game has to offer, but the first time I played, I was about 30 Milas deep before I realized it was a total scam and I was wasting my time. Oh, and the number of times I went on a settler rescue mission before I noticed they were all the same was a little embarrassing. Like when my dad went out to buy milk, I didn't realize what was going on until years had passed and all my money was gone. So this change would be to make Fallout 4 more like Skyrim or Oblivion. See, Skyrim and Oblivion have repeatable quests, but they come after you make it through the handwritten quality quests. I really don't mind Eternal Dark Brotherhood assassinations, but only because I already made it through the rich quest design of the Dark Brotherhood main questline. You can hand out Squire missions, Todd, but make sure you have some decent stuff advertised to me first. I paid $60, alright? Let's leave the slop till the end, thank you. Change number 9. Make Piper a sneaky synth companion. One of the biggest dropped balls in Fallout 4 is the fact that everyone tells you about how sneaky synths are in the game, and how they're replacing people, and how you can't trust anyone. And yet, you never experienced this for yourself. If synths really were real, I wouldn't need my wife anymore, would I? I'd just make a version of her and her boyfriend who would be forced to stay with me forever. If I were to change something in the game, I would add a companion, or change one that's already there. I'm thinking it makes a lot of sense to choose Piper. Throughout the game, she should start pissed off at the Institute, just like how she is in the game, but slowly over time add context that makes the Institute more understandable and a little more sympathetic. Oh, she'd have to be actually good in combat, borderline the best in the game. No 10mm pistol this time. She'd have to be so compelling and good in combat that there should really be no reason to choose any other companion. Subtle changes would add up, and by the end of the game, she'd be begging you to join the Institute. She'll be charming, funny, a joy to be around. And in the end, you'd find out that, well, yes, she was a synth infiltrator all along. If it was done right, you wouldn't even care that much once you found out. I mean, it's not like the Institute was trying to manipulate you. No. They were just trying to make sure you made the right decision. The fact that she's so willing to leave her sister will finally make sense. The fact that she was locked out of Diamond City right as you arrive will make sense. And if you can believe it, the player should end up so enamored with her that they're willing to overlook the fact that she was sent to control you all along. And there it is. I genuinely think these 9 changes would have changed Fallout 4 for the better. It's not like the game is a lost cause. There's a lot of good in it, but there's also a lot of bad, unfortunately. And 2 bonus changes, just really quick, before you go. Not necessary, but definitely would make it better, would be to remove Covenant and remove Kid in the Fridge. Covenant is workable, I already made a whole video about it, but you might as well just get rid of Kid in the Fridge. I make a new video every week. If you want to send one prayer for the quality of Fallout 3 Remastered straight to Todd's heart, make sure you subscribe. I'll let Todd know the next time I see him. And until next time, see you around.